So as the European League seasons begin, the transfer window is going to close in about a week. All clubs are trying to get their squads all buttoned up and ready for the season. The crazy thing is there's actually quite a few big name players who are still without a club. So what we're going to do here is go over my free agent 11. Welcome to Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. So looking on Transfermarkt at the players that are currently without a club, I picked the ones who I thought would be the biggest names, highest value, and put them in a team of 11. Let's start with our goalkeeper. It's Polish international Wojciech Szczesny. So he spent the last 7 years at Juve, and he had 1 year left on his contract, but they decided to mutually terminate it, and so now he's available. But as I said, he's only 34 and he's a goalkeeper. We've seen numerous goalkeepers go deep into their 30s at a very, very high level. And with the experience he has, you'd imagine someone is going to need someone like him. All right, moving on to our back line. We've got 4 defenders, and we're going to start with the guy who started at Bayern Munich, went to Dortmund, back to Bayern Munich, and then went back to Dortmund. Yeah, it's probably pretty obvious. It's Mats Hummels. Kind of amazing that he's reached the age of 35 and has only ever played for 2 clubs. He's been linked with Real Sociedad, with Mallorca, and with Brighton, which I think would be absolutely fascinating, but he's slowed down a lot. And although he had some good performances with Dortmund and also with Germany in the past year, you just wonder how much left he has in the tank and if anyone's actually going to want to take the chance on him. Come to MLS, Mats. That's actually my message for quite a few of these guys. All right, moving on to another defender who has only played for 2 clubs. He started his career at Schalke and then left on a free transfer to Liverpool. It's Joel Matip. So he was one of Klopp's very, very first signings and has won everything Liverpool have in that time, being a pretty key component, especially the year they won the Champions League, having actually assisted Divock Origi's goal in the final. He's 33, so he's not young, but everyone loves Joel Matip, so he's got to be useful somewhere. But as I said, he's only ever been on free transfers, so he never really got like a massive payday, so maybe now's the time to go to like Qatar or Saudi Arabia and pick up the check. I don't know. All right, moving on to our right back. It's Serge Aurier. Now, he's only 31 years old, so you'd think he has a hell of a lot left to offer. And he won his second AFCON with the Ivory Coast earlier this year, being a pivotal member in that team's insane run to go from out of the competition to winning the whole thing. I love me some Serge Aurier. I would love to see him still at the high level, but once again, come to MLS, man. All right, moving on to our left back. Started his career at Real Madrid and then went to, Bolton Wanderers, because that makes sense. It's Marcos Alonso. So when the new ownership at Chelsea came in, they decided he was surplus to requirements. Joan Laporta was pulling levers at Barcelona. He brought in Marcos Alonso, and though he had a good first season with the club, last year he had like 4 appearances, so it's time to go. Now he's 33 years old, but there have to be some clubs looking for a high-quality left wing back like himself who can deliver goals. Apparently Man United have been linked, so have Sevilla. He actually said about a month ago when he was released that news would be coming very soon in his future, and still nothing. MLS. All right, let's move to the midfield. And the first one is a Portuguese international. It's Andre Gomes. He's just such a good metronome in the middle of the field. He's a fantastic passer of the ball. He's very intelligent, and he's only 31 years old. So I think there's a Premier League club in mid-table that could really use a guy with his class and experience. Our next midfielder has only played for 2 clubs. He started his career at PSG and then went to Juventus. It's Adrien Rabiot. Now, Adrien Rabiot's agent, who is also his mother, Veronique, they are known for playing hardball with contracts. Back in 2019, PSG offered him one. He rejected it, and they actually just froze him out of the first team for the remainder of his contract before he went to Juve. So he spent the last 5 years there, was on a really hefty contract, and he was recently linked with Liverpool, especially after their deal for Zubimendi fell through. Now here's the crazy thing, he's only 29 years old, so he's going to be wanting a good amount of cash. And look, he's showed his worth in the last couple years playing for France at the World Cup and the Euros after having been frozen out by Didier Deschamps for rejecting being on the preliminary squad in 2018. So a lot of people see that there is drama attached to Rabiot, but he is in a prime position in his career to be able to play for a big club. We'll see who decides to come in for him. All right, the next one is a legend. It's James Rodriguez. James is a self-described number 10, and he has said that position is basically dying. No one wants those people anymore. And at 33 years old, you'd think, well, that type of player is phased out. You're done, bro. But he just lit up Copa America. He was player of the tournament, got 6 assists and a goal, leading Colombia to the final, which they lost in the end to Argentina. James was a full-on leader in that team in every way, showed that he has the work rate, the leadership, and the quality to still play high-level football. Question is, what club is going to really want to take him on? Once again, go to MLS. All right, let's move on to the front line. First one is a player who really came from the bottom. I mean, he started more as a futsal player. It's Wissam Ben Yedder. Wissam Ben Yedder has made it all the way to being a France international. It's kind of amazing. He actually grew up with Riyad Mahrez. They were childhood friends, and they had pretty different career paths. But in the last 5 years, he played 201 times for Monaco, scoring 118 goals. He is 35 years old, but he is a proven goal scorer. In 13 seasons playing in Liga and La Liga, he has finished with double-digit goals 11 times. That's quite an incredible record. So you'd think someone could use him. For him, it'd be a great time for a payday in the Middle East if he can get it. All right, the next two are basically just unfulfilled potential players. First one started at PSV, it's Memphis Depay. Man, this is one of those nearly careers. He's a player who I always wanted to see succeed because he's just such a maverick. He's so technically good, he's clever, he's creative. You just want to see someone like this explode and have an amazing season at least once in his career. He's done decently for the Netherlands in an era where they just don't have too many stars, and now at only 30 years old, he is a free agent. The problem is no one really knows what they're going to get from Memphis. My hope is that he's able to find a place where he feels good, he's at a high level, and he's able to get something like 15, 20 goals and just light it up with his showmanship. He's definitely marketable, but is he worth the money in the baggage? And our last forward, and to round out the 11, it's Anthony Martial. He's the player who time has just disappeared for. It doesn't feel like that long ago that he scored that incredible goal in his Man United debut, but then it just didn't happen for him. He had a couple good seasons, notably one under Mourinho, but overall it's just been such a low goal return for a player that you would expect a lot more from. Now, he's been on big money for a long time now, and he's only 28 years old, so I'm sure he's gonna feel like he deserves a large salary, but his record doesn't really back that up. So you wonder, who's gonna take a chance on this guy, especially at the rate you're gonna have to pay? And actually, that is the story about most of these players, and the fact that the football world is going into some kind of recession. I think we will not see a Neymar level transfer from Barcelona to PSG ever again, and I think that wages are going to start to hit a ceiling where clubs are going to say, no, we're not paying you that anymore. And a lot of these guys who have been on huge contracts throughout their careers during the massive boom, they're just going to have to accept to take 50% pay cuts. And they may have to also accept that the football world has moved on. And so we may see situations like David De Gea, who was a free agent for a whole year before he just recently got picked up by Fiorentina. By the time you see this video, half these guys may already be picked up or not. I just think it's going to be really fascinating to see what happens with these big name players. Either way, thanks for stopping by. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Take it easy.